There are students with whom I worked and their marks I could increase from 225, 230 to 260, 265. I got the message of this student and he has written, PSIR, which was my strength, led to the downfall this time. There is a premeditated mindset, and that mindset says that we have to go select 3 questions from 1A and 3 from 2B. Hello PSIR students. Today in this video, I shall be explaining the reasons why there has been a decline in your marks compared to last year or last to last year, which has been a concern of many of the students, and there is a word on the streets that PSIR is going down, but the fact is it is not. And the reason why I am making this video, actually I did not have any plan to make this video, but the point is that there were 7 students who were unknown to each other. One came today, one tomorrow, so at different points of time they came, they discussed with me the same reason, that sir, why is PSIR going down? And one of them, and this was his 5th attempt and first mains, he even discussed to me about changing his optional. So regarding changing your optional, you see, point is that you can always change, UPSC gives you that option. But the thing is, if you are not aware with that optional is going to take much of your time, and somewhere that will impact your GS preparation, right? So the thing is that if changing an optional has worked for someone, there is no guarantee it will work for you. So there is a saying in the Hindi that चौबे गए छब्बे बनके बनने दुबे बनके रह गए, और what is good for the goose is good for the gander. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. This must not happen. So regarding changing your optional, think it through and then take a decision. And if you need any sounding board, then we are over here. You can always come and you can discuss. So now let us come to the topic of discussion, that is why the PSIR marks reduced compared to last year or last to last year. But let me say this very clearly, that it is not a uniform idea or a confirmation proof that everyone marks has reduced. There are students with whom I worked and their marks I could increase from 225, 230 to 260, 265, and I shall be showing you their marks and discussing it in the subsequent slide of this video only. So first of all, when we talk about the reasons behind reduction of marks, just look at the type of questions. This is the question from 2019 and this is from 2023. When we look at the question from 2019, just look at it. Explain Aristotle's critique of Plato's idealism, or compare negative and positive concepts of liberty, Gramsci concept of hegemony, Kautilya's view on state, distinguish between liberal and radical feminism. What do we find here? We find that most of these questions, they were directly from your notes. When the questions were directly from your notes, you could remember your notes, you could write it down, and you could get good marks. But when we look at the question from 2023, and mind you, there are videos, I think there was a YouTube short, I had said that paper 1 was comparatively on the tougher side. Many had denied this. Reason was you looked only at question number 1. But when you look at the marks this time, the marks had dipped in paper 1. Generally, I'm not talking about the exceptions. So when we look at the questions, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, paper 1, 2023. Success of contemporary democracies lies in state limiting their own powers. So just look at this question, whether this question is from theory of democracy, okay, theory of sovereignty, or theory of power, or somewhere related to all these three. Thing is that you have remembered, you have mugged up things, but did you understand it? Those students who after reading they could understand, they could look at the demand and they could write the answers accordingly, and they could perform better. Look at this question number 3A. Fascism displays ambivalent stance towards parliamentary democracy. आदत आपकी क्या रहती है? फासिज्म देखा, फासिज्म का जो भी नोट्स है वो ऊपर से लेकर नीचे तक लिख दो. Problem is, did it address your demand? I have a very simple thing to ask from you. Go to your notes and just find whether this is there in your notes. Fascism and its ambivalent attitude towards democracy. Or look at question number 4A. Buddhist thought on Dhamma facilitates emancipation of political action. तो जब आप इसमें किस पॉलिटिकल एक्शन की बात हो रही है? Here ultimately you are talking about real politics. So unless you had understood this, you could not have written, you must have written an answer, but that would not be right. And rather than getting a 13 out of 20, you would have got something around 7 to 8. In case you want to know the answers or how they should have been answered, I have made a complete detailed discussion of both paper 1 and paper 2. They are on the YouTube. I shall be putting their link in the I button. You can go back in case you have time. You can go through the discussion and then you will find out whether you were able to address the answers as per the demand of the question. This was one thing. The next thing is, look at the smartness of UPSC. A. All these 20 markers, you can never be that much sure. लेकिन उसके बाद जब आगे देखोगे, रॉल साइड ऑफ लिबरल सेल्फिश टू इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक, क्रेडो ऑफ रेलेवेंस इन पोस्ट बिहेवियरलिज्म, दे आर कंपैरेटिवली इजियर. बट हियर कम्स द चॉइस वेदर टू चूज योर क्वेश्चंस एज पर द 20 मार्कर और एज पर दिस 30 मार्कर. इसीलिए मैंने कहा था कि इस पेपर में दिक्कत होगी, बिकॉज 20 मार्कर्स दे आर अ बिट ट्रिकी. जहां पे आपको कंटेंट है वहां पे डिमांड का अंदाजा नहीं है, जहां पे आपको डिमांड पता है वहां पे कंटेंट को लेकर इशू है. एंड दिस वाज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर व्हाई योर मार्क्स dipped. एंड इट वाज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट दिस ईयर, लास्ट ईयर एज वेल. ये पिछले साल भी ऐसा हुआ था और इसीलिए आप देखोगे कि 2022 और 2023 थोड़ा नीचे मार्क्स है. दिक्कत PSIR के साथ नहीं, आई डू नॉट डिनाई, हो सकता है बिकॉज ऑफ नॉर्मलाइजेशन, बिकॉज ऑफ स्केलिंग, perhaps some marks might have come down. But when you look at the score of students I went through, one is 303, rank 6 का क्या है? I have not gone through her mark sheet. I think rank 16 or 17 she has got 303. One is in 290s, one or two are in 280, rest are in 260s, 270s. This is the reason. One of the most important reason is the changing nature of the questions. Now they are focusing on the specifics. Now they want you to understand the question's demand and answer accordingly rather than simply mugging up from the notes. ये पहला रीजन है. दूसरा जो है, और दूसरे को बस देखो आप, this is something pretty much heartbreaking. I got the message of this student and he has written PSIR, which was my strength, led to the downfall this time. And look at his PSIR marks: 99 in paper 1, 123 in paper 2. Jabki it is you people whose marks are more detailed in paper 1, as I had said last time, in the last slide, that in paper 1 the questions are a bit tricky, they are not direct ones, and that is why paper was not on that easier side, and it is vindicating what I had said. और यहां पे आपकी क्या दिक्कत है? यहां पे आपकी सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत क्या है ना, that there is a premeditated mindset, and that mindset says that we have to go select 3 questions from 1A and 3 from 2B, बाकी 1B से 2 और 2A से 2. And this premeditated mindset is another problem. Now just tell me, when you attempt an essay paper, you have got to 4 in section A and 4 in section B. Do you go with a premeditated mindset that I have to select question 1 only, or question A only, or question B only? Or when you are writing your GS answers, is it a certain that first question I am going to attempt it question number 1 or question number 11? You simply look at it that, okay, which is the question I am more comfortable with, I will write that answer first, and for the difficult ones I will come back later. But here 1A से 3 करना है, 2B से 3 करना है. I am talking about me. When I was getting 280s and 290s in 2020, 2021, at that time it was not that I was attempting from 1A and 2B. 3 questions, they could be from 1B as well or 2A as well. That depended on which are the questions I am most comfortable with. लेकिन आपको ये बताया क्यों गया है कि 1A और 2B के से ही क्वेश्चन उठाना है? Because your notes are more detailed about 1A. Now UPSC is giving you tricky questions, but you are still stuck with 1A. As a result, what happens? Your marks will naturally go down, because the questions, they are not on the easier side. Then 2B, since it is India and the world, anyway you would read about it in the GS, और थोड़ा बहुत जो भी मार्केट से नोट्स वगैरह उठ जाएंगे, बिकॉज चूंकि 2B डायनेमिक है, यू कैन ब्लेम अ टीचर फॉर द नोट्स. तो टीचर का यहां भी पल्ला झड़ गया. 1A के बारे में कहेंगे 1A से तो मैंने बिल्कुल डिटेल्ड दे दिया, सब कुछ आपके पास है. सो व्हेन देयर इज नॉट अ बैलेंस्ड प्रिपरेशन, वेदर इट इज 1A, 1B, 2A और 2B, क्योंकि 500 में से 200 नंबर तो आपने थोड़ा हल्के में लिया ना, यू आर एक्चुअली प्लेइंग विथ 300. नतीजा क्या हुआ? मार्क्स आर डिपिंग, जो कि यहां पे रिफ्लेक्ट होता है. एंड यू नो, दिस इज समथिंग दैट ब्रेक्स माय हार्ट, बिकॉज मेरे पास जो दो स्टूडेंट्स हु कम टू मी, दे आर नॉट द फर्स्ट टाइमर्स और सेकंड टाइमर्स. 4th attempt, 5th attempt, they come, and many a times what happens, the damage has already been done. Sit with them, continuously talk to them, work with them, कि नहीं आंसर राइटिंग में इंट्रोडक्शन को इतना स्पेसिफिक करो, बॉडी में अननेसेसरी इंफॉर्मेशन मत डालो, एंड आई शैल बी शोइंग यू. दिस इज सेकंड फैक्टर. The third factor is that missing the demand of the question. ये demand, why do you miss on the demand of the question? Because you have that habit of mugging up and writing down. In your class notes, what you have done? Were you explained the ideas, or you were simply asked, okay, write it down, write it down, write it down, and in the exam just remember, mug up from here and vomit it over there? Because of this habit, the idea of understanding the demand that could not develop during 2018, 2019, the questions were direct. You could directly link, directly remember from the notes, put it down, you were getting better marks. But now game has changed. Questions demand, they have changed. You won't believe, one student, this was her 5th attempt. She has already written 4 mains. She came to me and after the class she said me that sir, दिस डिपेंडेंसी थियोरी और वर्ल्ड सिस्टम थियोरी ये अलग होता है, मुझे आज तक पता नहीं था। माइंड यू, उस लड़की ने 4 मेंस लिख रखे हैं। कोई आकर के कहता है सब वो हना आरेंट थ्योरी ऑफ एक्शन थोड़ा समझा दो ना, बिकॉज द क्वेश्चन नाउ वॉन्ट बी एक्सप्लेन हना आरेंट थ्योरी ऑफ एक्शन। क्वेश्चन कैन बी दैट हना आरेंट थ्योरी ऑफ एक्शन provides emancipation to the ongoing political crisis across the globe. अब क्या हुआ, अब आपको देखना है what are the ongoing political crisis across the globe, what is there in the Hannah Arendt's theory of action, whether it is labor or it is work or it is action, that I have to link with, and for that you need that understanding. तो यहां पे वही ये जो सार 2023 का ये क्वेश्चन है, just as I said, look at this question. Rawls' idea of liberal self is too individualistic. How is it too individualistic? Buddhist thought on Dhamma facilitates emancipation of political action. Again, which political action it is talking about? In what method there is emancipation? Here you could talk about what Gandhi had talked about, whether it is Gandhi or it is Gokhale. Spiritualization of politics. Gandhi has said that politics without religion is a sin. देखो, question number 3, affirmative action policies draw as much strong criticism as strong support, या फिर पोस्ट कोलोनियलिज्म का क्वेश्चन है, यूरोसेंट्रिज्म इज बोथ अ टारगेट एंड मोटिव फोर्स बिहाइंड द पोस्ट कोलोनियल पॉलिटिकल थियोरी. एनीवे, आई हैव पुट इन दैट डिस्कशन, इट इज ऑन द यूट्यूब, आई विल प्रोवाइड विद द लिंक. ओके, और खेल सिर्फ इतना नहीं है. यू विल थिंक यार आई एम अ बिगिनर, तो शायद इस कारण मुझे दिक्कत हो रही है. लेट मी शो यू समथिंग. Yeah, this one. This student, he's a recommended candidate, and then look at it, that the type of mistakes he has made. Idealism in Kautilya's political thought. Very simple question. What he has done? While proposing Saptanga theory, Kautilya establishes importance of different elements of sovereignty. इसके पहले ही है इन मंडल सिद्धांत. अब बताओ यहां पे मैकियावेली को लाने की क्या जरूरत थी? And apart from that, I have given in the comment that where is idealism, because when the question itself is idealism in Kautilya's political thought, so somewhere you will explain that how Kautilya's political thought it is idealistic at a certain point of time. यहां नहीं गया, फिर आगे देखो, यहां फिर से मैकियावेली आ रखा है. ये देखो ऐसा क्यों होता है? It is not that, one thing is that you are not understanding the demand of the question. The second thing is that somewhere you are missing out on the content part. आपके पास कंटेंट की कमी है, that is why, क्योंकि आपके कंटेंट में क्या पड़ा हुआ है? कौटिल्य का कंपैरिजन विथ मैकियावेली, कौटिल्य का कंपैरिजन विथ मैकियावेली. सो क्वेश्चन अगर स्टैंड अलोन आ जाता है मैकियावेली के ऊपर, कंटेंट की कमी है, सो गो फॉर दैट कंपैरिजन. But this will get you just 3 out of 10 marks. And then after the exam you will say, oh, PSIR it is going down, I should think about changing my option. You see, I am very crude, I am very direct. मैं वो मक्खन वक्खन नहीं लगाता. अगला देखो ये, और मैं फिर से बता रहा हूं, ये एक रिकमेंडेड कैंडिडेट की कॉपी है. जो मैंने इवेल्युएट की. ओके. In a just society, the liberties of equal citizenships are taken as settled. Rights secured by justice are not subject to political bargaining or to the calculus of social interest. क्या है क्वेश्चन? बहुत सिंपल है ना. ये रॉल्स कह रहा है. क्यों रॉल्स का कहा हुआ है? रॉल्स का क्रिटिसिज्म है टू ऑफ यूटिलिटेरियंस, राइट. इन्होंने जो आंसर लिखा है उस आंसर में आप खुद देख लो. क्रिटिकल लिबरल्स और ऑफ द व्यू, यहां पे ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत रॉल्स की बात इन्होंने की. आगे इन्होंने क्या? सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. सबसे पहले इनका लॉक आया है, फिर जाकर के हॉब्स आया है. दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव सेड हिम कि पहले हॉब्स को लॉ, फिर लॉक को लॉ, फिर आगे यूटिलिटेरियनिज्म पर. आफ्टर दैट क्रिएशन ऑफ अ जस्ट सोसाइटी, टीएच ग्रीन लास की. रॉल्स पूरे का पूरा गायब है. एंड दैट इज व्हाई द comment was social liberals completely absent, even J.S. Mill. Though Mill was not a social liberal, but in fact Mill has not been referred to. So अगर आप इस तरह की गलती करोगे, मार्क्स तो डिक्लाइन होंगे ना. एंड देन यू विल से कि मार्क्स व्हाई इट इज गेटिंग डिक्लाइंड. परहैप्स मार्केट में हल्ला चलता है, अब PSIR उतना अच्छा ऑप्शनल नहीं रहा. PSIR is that good and optional? It's just that the point is that we need to refresh our approach towards answer writing, towards focusing on it. और आगे मैं दिखाता हूं. ये अगला जो है ये 270 वाला है. ये देखो, प्लेटो एज एनिमी ऑफ ओपन सोसाइटी. प्लेटो एज एनिमी ऑफ ओपन सोसाइटी, वेरी सिंपल डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन. बट इन्होंने आंसर में क्या लिख रखा है? Plato is called the father of political philosophy for his theory of just state or ideal state. इसकी क्या जरूरत है? What is the need of this statement? If it is a 10 marker directly hit on the demand, I have always said it, you cannot just waste a single line. Later on, the above statement is given by Popper. Rather than talking about this, your simple introduction could have been that Karl Popper, in his book Open Society and Its Enemies, under the topic The Spell of Plato, has criticized Plato as enemy of open society. Simple. You have given the name of the book, you have given the name of the chapter, you have given the name of Karl Popper. Moment any examiner will read this introduction, he will be like, okay, he understands. And after that, we know that there are specific criticisms. Holism, essentialism, historicism गायब है. Karl Popper, no society's theory claimed to be a scientific if it does not pass through the rather than explaining this, you simply explain that why he says, because Plato he himself says that everything can be changed except for my constitution. And that is why in the comment I had given, हालांकि 4.5 भी ज्यादा मिला हुआ है, that mention Popper's criticism, holism, essentialism, historicism. उसके आगे in present times, closed society, डिफेंस कहां से किया हुआ है? काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट है ही नहीं. आप काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट दोगे ना, you will have to give the counter argument, whether you give Sidney Hook or it is Levinson or it is Rajiv Bhargava. And mind you, this is a 270 markers copy. So point is that it is not that how much you scored last time. Even if you cleared pre last time, is it a guarantee that you will clear it this time? No. Then how come if you scored better last time, either you expect a guarantee that you will score better this time? The need is that we have to work very strategically, very specifically. Where are the mistakes? Sit with the teacher. Ask them that what are the mistakes that I am committing and how I can improve them. Practice on that. And then naturally, you will improve on your answer writing. Simply that writing tests, getting evaluated, It has got very little benefit except for ensuring that you shall be completing your answers in 3 hours. Please understand that. And another issue with this is that why you are not able to understand the demand. Another problem with this is that while you did your optional foundation, it was only about writing. There was no answer writing. It was all about note making. आंसर राइटिंग कब होगा? आंसर राइटिंग 4 महीने 6 महीने बाद, जब मैं प्री एग्जाम के बाद, इन केस आई क्लियर प्रीलिम्स. As a result, simply because if I have studied something just now and if I start writing, naturally I'll be in a better position to recall all that. But if I am asked that, okay, you read now, you will be writing answers 3 months, after 3 months or after 4 months. Naturally, I won't be in a position to recall it properly. So that is why in my PSIR foundation, I shall be discussing PYQs as well as there will be periodic tests. That okay, these 3 chapters over, now give a test. These 3 chapters over, now give a test. Where are the mistakes that you are making? Let us not make those mistakes. Let us write answers. Let us improve upon our answer writing. Because in the end, this exam is not about reading, it is about writing. So please work on all this rather than blaming the optional and everything else. We must look inwards, that what are the mistakes that we are committing. If you keep committing mistakes, naturally marks will keep going down. After having discussed all this, as I said, now let me show you some of the scorecards. This student and she had discussed with me कि सर आप जितने मार्क्स दे रहे हो पिछले टेस्ट सीरीज में भी उतने ही मार्क्स आते थे, व्हाट इज द गारंटी, हाउ मच आई विल स्कोर. I had said that you simply go through your answer sheets, you will find the difference. Here it was rough, her marks was roughly, it was exactly 230. Now it is roughly around 260. I know this is not what she at least deserved to be at, 270, 275. लेकिन थोड़ा सा डिप हुआ है, I do not deny that. In fact, this girl would have been recommended, क्योंकि फोन करके बोल रही थी कि सर उसके मेरे से कम मार्क्स हैं, उसका हो गया. She belong to OBC and I said कि अब क्या कर सकते हैं. But then she said कि नहीं सर मैं भी belong करती हूँ. But her father, he is in a class job, so she falls under creamy layer. मैंने उससे कहा ठीक है, फिर पापा को बोलो तुम्हें डिसोन कर दें. So jokes aside, देखो यहाँ पे गलती क्यों हुई है, क्योंकि इतने मार्क्स में ना बाकी सारे ऑप्शनल में भी रिजल्ट्स आए हैं. जाकर के देख लो 240s 250s में भी PSIR वाले दे आर इन द लिस्ट. Point is that look at her GS on marks 81, 102, 91, 108. इसमें अगर थोड़ा भी बेहतर रहता ना, she would have been in the general list. ये एक है. अगला, with this student I had specifically worked on the paper 1 and mind you ये उसका 2020 का मार्कशीट है. 2020 में देखो 108 था, यहाँ पे 139 है, सीधा 31 नंबर का जंप है. स्पेसिफिकली क्योंकि पेपर 1 के साथ he had got some issues, so स्पेसिफिकली पेपर 1 के साथ. और अगला देखो 133, 129, अल्टीमेटली 262. इसके साथ क्या दिक्कत हुई? एसए में, क्योंकि अगर इसका 10 नंबर भी रहता ना, ये लिस्ट के अंदर था. बट एसए में क्या हुआ, अगर 10 नंबर कंसिडर की इसका एसए में 112 भी अगर रहता, चीजें सही रहती. तो यू सी, आई हैव अ डिफरेंट अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट of this whole examination scheme. I divide this whole mains plus interview into 4 different verticals. Regarding that I shall be discussing some other day. My point is that it is not just about optional. Optional के साथ साथ एक हो गया optional, एक हो गया आपका GS, एक हो गया आपका एसे और एक हो गया आपका इंटरव्यू. My thinking is that consider it into 4 verticals, and in order to be in the final list you need to do well in at least 2 verticals, और एक वर्टिकल, कोई भी एक वर्टिकल बिल्कुल नीचे डिप ना जाए. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, ठीक है चलो ऑप्शनल में अच्छा कर लिया, लेकिन इससे बहुत ज्यादा डिप चला गया. So these are the factors, because sociology ho, anthro ho, with 260s 250s, there are people who are in hundreds. 200 500 600 रैंक की मैं बात नहीं कर रहा, in hundreds. So rather than focusing just on your optional, we have to balance our preparation. GS, essay, ऑप्शनल तीनों को बैलेंस लेकर के चलो, उसके बाद आएगा इंटरव्यू. दिस एग्जाम इज लेस अबाउट रीडिंग, मोर अबाउट राइटिंग. राइट एज मेनी आंसर्स, discuss with teachers, someone who can guide you in improving your answer writing. And then comes, what is it that you can do? So you see, the very first thing is that in case of PSIR, try to balance all four sections. Just don't depend only on 1A or 2B. Try to balance all the 4 sections so that you will be in a better position to make a choice कि कहां से 3 करने हैं, कहां से 2 करने हैं. And when you have got a choice, then naturally your score it will improve. जिनके अच्छे मार्क्स आए हैं वो इस कारण से आते हैं. कोई गारंटी नहीं है 1A और 2B से. ठीक है, अगर किसी का आ गया है, that does not mean कि वो आपका भी आएगा. It depends कि which part you are more stronger with. Next is improve GS and essay as well, as I have already shown you. Third is go for precise approach. Precise approach का मतलब क्या है? आंसर को डिवाइड कर दो, इंट्रोडक्शन, कंक्लूजन, वन थिंग. देन इन केस ऑफ बॉडी ऑल्सो, कि कैसे अलग अलग सेगमेंट्स को वी हैव टू आंसर इन अ प्रोपोर्शनेट मैनर. ऐसा नहीं हो कि एक जिसका मुझे पता है उसके बारे में बहुत कुछ लिख लिया और जिसका मुझे नहीं पता है जस्ट 1 पैराग्राफ एंड ऑल. दैट इज एन अनबैलेंस्ड आंसर एंड अगेन यू विल लूज आउट ऑन. नेक्स्ट इज focus on understanding and demand and addressing it, as I have already shown through those list copies, that how you simply miss out on the demand, as a result you miss out on the answer and score. And next is make answers content dense. Content dense का मतलब whether it is about paper, in paper 1B Supreme Court judgments, laws, committees, commissions. Paper 1A thinkers, their books, their ideas. Similarly in paper 2A and 2B, and that is why this time it is part of my plan that for the crash course and test series students, what I shall be doing is I shall be giving them a list of all those 4 sections, so that ki how you can use them in your answers to score better. And after this I shall also be discussing that how 1B, that is IGP portion, you can prepare way better by combining it with paper 2 GS paper 2. So through IGP focus on GS paper 2 rather than through GS paper 2 focusing on the IGP. I shall be making a separate video. And apart from this, about paper 2, how to approach that, how to streamline the overall this syllabus, interlinking of ideas, so that you understand this PSIR, the demand of questions better, you write better answers, and then you perform better in the exams. Okay, so that's all from my side. In case of any doubts, you can put your questions in the comment, or even better, you can come to the institute, we can sit and we can discuss. That's all. Thank you very much.